Hello Internet, this is Scruffy here, bringing you a replay commentary of my Drow Ranger gameplay. This was all pick. I picked Drow Ranger because I just kind of panic picked, the game had just started, and I looked at my team, and actually I think my Drow Ranger was second pick just because my team wasn't picking anything. I'd also like to point out that this is not a full team. I solo queued in here, so these aren't the best players in the world, including myself, but I think it'll be a little bit of fun to watch. So let's see what we can do here. So I start off obviously going straight for the precision aura. That's just standard Drow. You want to do some last hits. I kind of regret it though, because I think getting a point into that frost arrows is really good early on, depending on whether or not, for example, they try to contest your rune. They come and they try to contest, and if they do try to contest, then you have some way to slow them, have your team catch up to them and get some stuff done. So we're just getting into it here, grab that bounty rune. Worried I'd have to steal it from the Wraith King there. Luckily he actually gave it to me. And the game begins. This is patch 7.07, so it's got all the new stuff. There's no real reworks on Drow. She's pretty much stock standard. She hasn't changed much. Wraith King got that very, very interesting patch note, with the hero rework. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think it's great that the game is doing that. Getting hero reworks and so on is just great for Dota overall. So we're up against a Bane here, which really surprised me, because then I couldn't understand who they were putting in the mid lane. I did get notified by a teammate a little later on here, though, that the Timbersaw was active in the mid. So we're just kind of sitting here seeing what we can do. Problem is I am kind of contesting up against a Wraith King for last hits, which is a little bit difficult on my side, simply because Wraith King is just such a better right clicker early game. It's very, very difficult to steal those last hits from your own teammates. Whether this lane is optimal is questionable, but yeah, we're going to stick to it and see what we can do. Bane's feeling really cocky. This I couldn't quite understand. He's just sitting there and tanking the hits. I mean, he's not really getting anything done. But oh man, this enfeeble, this attack damage reduced by 30. You see there, my Drow does like 20 attack per hit. It's disgusting. So it really creates a little bit of trouble for you, especially in the early game. That's why they say, especially now with the new patch, Bane has just become an even more incredible mid laner. Like he's definitely viable as a core, which I think is quite fun. I think it's fun that you can start playing these supports in these core roles. And we lost the Bristle there, quite scary. To a Jakiro, not so bad. Jakiro is just always going to be scary. He doesn't really pull away and scale ridiculously. He really shines now in the early to mid game, in my personal opinion. I'm sure there are people who would disagree with me, but that's what I think is great about Dota. I think Dota is something that's open to interpretation. There's no true 100% correct way to play any hero. Obviously there are far more efficient ways than others, but I like the fact that Dota as a game means that you can literally do whatever you want with whomever you want, just because that's how the game works. And it's a lot of fun in that regard, and that's why Dota is definitely one of my favorite games. I've been playing Dota now for about probably going on 3 or 4 years. I'm not a very serious player, if I can put it that way. I play when I get the chance, but I haven't nearly been as up to date as I used to be, and that is quite disappointing. But you can see already we're really putting the hurting on the Scar. Just that Wraith Band is really, really making a difference. If you're wondering why I've got a Mango, it's because when I pick Drow, there's a completely new game mechanic in the all-pick roster. I think it also works for turbo mode, I'm not 100% sure. But basically what happens is when you random heroes, it gets selected from a specific hero pool. And that hero pool is about 10 heroes. I stand to correction, it could be more, it could be less. That give you a bonus. So if you pick one of those heroes, you start off immediately with an enchanted mango. And if you random, you can only random into one of those 10 heroes, and then you will not only get the mango, but you'll also get an iron branch. So that is why I started with a mango here. It wasn't a first choice, it wasn't a first pick bar. I'm actually, as you can see, I'm actually pushing for the Wraith Band more than anything else. Just because I feel like having that little bit of extra protection and armor is just really, really good, If you look at there, I was just checking how much the Bane's got left in terms of mana and so on. But I mean, that +2 armor, the regen, it's just nice to have, So yeah, that's what we're doing over here.
Not this time.
Luckily for me, the Wraith King tends to be rotating around a little bit, which is just giving me a bit of space to farm. You know, at the moment it's been a bit of a slow game. You know, like I said, this isn't turbo, although I will also be quoted on camera as saying I absolutely love the turbo mode. I think that is an awesome addition to the game. Great for new players, great for people like me sometimes. You know, it's difficult to find the time to get in a full game of Dota. You know, you're really committing to half an hour to an hour's gameplay, and sometimes you just don't have that time. Whereas, you know, with this turbo mode, I mean, if a game lasts 30 minutes, it's a long game. Like, it has been stretched out way too far. And, ugh, my last hitting is up to nonsense here. I think I was just pushing for my level 6, because I'm really sickling with my last hits. But Drow, you know what, despite being a great right clicker, I really sickle with her attack animation. The little bit of a lag takes some getting used to. And also, just, you know, on that note, I'm also the kind of person that doesn't play the same hero over and over and over again. I like to mix it around. I'll maybe play the same hero 2-3 games in a row, maybe, but then I'm off to something else. Then I want to play someone else, I want to try something else. As you can see, we're all lower tier players here. You know, you don't really see anybody buying wards, you know, which is completely necessary. It's terrible about solo queuing. You know, I really need to start playing with full teams, just because, you know, you need people to play their specific roles. Now, a role doesn't necessarily mean, I'm quoting Baumi here, but a role doesn't necessarily mean that that hero must play this thing. It's just the specific position you're in at the time. You know, so if you look at our team, we don't necessarily have any have a lot of supporting cost. However, we do have that Phoenix. So, you know, the Phoenix doesn't have to do much. You know, he doesn't have to sit there and pull creeps and stack and so on. But if he could just buy like 1 or 2 wards and place them, then that'd be fantastic. And I suppose the same goes for me. You know, as a Drow Ranger, if I feel like I'm suddenly sitting in position 4, it won't kill me to buy some wards. I didn't do it this game, which is a little bit of hypocrisy. But generally, that's what you want. Even if you're playing with a bunch of scrubs like myself, I myself am a scrub. You know, the caliber of game I play and the kind of people I play with means that it's not always necessarily high class gaming and, you know, high performance or skill level for that matter. But, you know, anyone can just kind of play that role, play that position 4, and really just do what they can to help out in a supporting role. I've found, now please don't take this as me thinking that I am God's gift to Dota, but you know, I've found if I don't carry a game and I depend on others to carry my game, I tend to sickle. I tend to have a rough time getting through. But anyway, back to the game at hand. So at the moment, you know, we're sitting a couple of minutes into the game. You know, it's 3-0. They've really got a bit of an advantage. They've got some early fighting heroes. Timbersaw's really difficult to kill. Jakiro does well at disabling, pushing down towers. Bane is scary as hell. And Jugger, well, he needs no introduction. Juggernaut can just come in and get stuff done. But I'd like to think we've got a pretty well-rounded team in terms of our DPS and tankiness. And oop, here comes a Timber. He jumps me. I started hitting him and I thought to myself, hitting that Timber's not going to help me anymore. He's way too tanky. Hitting him is just going to increase his armor and mana regen. I'm just going to try juke out. Try to get away, but unfortunately got hit by that Bane sap. There was nothing I could do. So there we go. That's Bane for you. Strong hero this early in the game, and I'm dead for a couple of seconds. It's no biggie. It's a bit of a speed bump. They rotated in. They had 3 heroes. Good positioning. There's nothing I can say. That was good play from them. I did what I could to juke out of it. I could have responded quicker. Maybe should have put the casual point into the dust. But the way the lane was looking at the time was not great. And then this was extremely frustrating. Dieback of death. It hurts. It hurts so bad. It feels bad. But, you know, it is what it is. The trick with these kind of things is to just not get tilted. Don't get upset. Don't get worked up. It sucks. It's not great. Doesn't feel good. It's frustrating as hell. But if you let it get to you, then you're throwing the game. You know? We're still very early into the game. We've only got 2 deaths on our side. We're 0-2-0, that sucks. But if you look at us compared to the rest of the team, we're really not falling that far behind. We are more or less on par. You know, It feels bad, and at this point in the game I was really feeling like, oh my goodness, we're falling behind, this is not good, this is going to be a terrible game. But the trick is just not get tilted. Try get that little bit of farm when you can, and then just take it from there. I was trying to stay out of lane here, just because I wanted the lane to pull in a little bit to my side. I'm a little bit scared about their rotations, but looking at the map itself, I can see 3 of their heroes are there at the bottom. I could have gone in and contested lane a little bit. I didn't want to miss out on all that experience, so I thought, okay, do I go on the Bane? No, it's not worth it. Let me rather stick closer to my tower. You know, stay under that protection, so if they jump me, you know, they have to fight for it and they'll think twice. Right now just auto-attacking, I know, but it's just the last hitting was so difficult at this time. And I was finally at my level 6, so that increased agility was just absolutely fantastic. It really gives you that tool to really start right-clicking and do what Drow does. And you know, looking back, we got jumped twice, but the thing is, I mean, I haven't even used a single tango. And that was just because, you know, they jumped us so quick and so hard, there was nothing we could do. And then that Bane ult under my tower, I did not expect it. Poor play from me. But it is what it is, you know. So yeah, just as an FYI about me for those who are new to the channel, which I'm assuming you are, considering this is one of my first videos. I'm from South Africa. I haven't been playing, I haven't been on YouTube long. I mean, I've literally just started my channel up. So, you know, I'm welcoming any feedback. For people who are actually watching this, if there are any of you at this point, you know, I'd love a little bit of feedback. I'd love to hear what you think, what I can do to improve the channel. And yeah, we're just gonna sit back and see what we can do here. Just farming up a couple of creeps, you know, just really just trying to get those early game items. I know now is not really the time to be farming up the early game items, considering the game has been going on a little while. But you just got to do it. You got to build your pyramid, you got to start with that strong base, and then you can build into the bigger stuff. Especially in a game like this, I'm getting jumped quite a bit. I'm a little bit scared, I'm a little bit behind. So, you know, getting that smaller stuff just keeps me alive, keeps me safe, gives me that bit of survivability, a bit of right click, all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I finished up my treads here. Big deal getting those treads. Like I said, scrub player, my boot toggling is non-existent, so don't expect it. So then I think to myself, okay, I got some treads, I'm a bit tankier, maybe I can help out. And there's the Jakiro. Jakiro is a great idea for a pickup. He's squishy, I can hurt him, and with that Phoenix, if I slow him, he gets hit by that Phoenix aura, which is great. Bane is a little bit more risky, he can really hurt me. Luckily for me though, he sleeps, that Phoenix jumps in to help me out here. Oh, and the tiny toss just helps us close this one off. Done and done. Great play by the Tiny, great play by the team. So that one feels good. Second kill of the game, feels good, man. And then I'm thinking to myself, do I want to go in here? There's a lot of them, and then I see that Jugger, and I just think, oh, beautiful, lucky me. And then one more, huge black hole, scary black hole. I was really hoping to get my wand off, but unfortunately I was just perma-stunned. So, you know, big trade-offs there. 12 and 6. They're only 2k ahead. Up, jump to 3. Now it's looking scary. Now I don't know. I'm 4 and 3. I'm not sure. Okay, how do I progress from here? What do I do? Where do I go? So I look around the map, you know, get a feel right. Wraith King, how's he farming? How's he doing? Where do I go? And I think to myself, you know what? Just relax. You don't need to push that hard. Maybe get a bit of farm in. Stick with your team a little bit. Don't be alone. Try farm the jungle when you can. But just, especially as a Drow, in my opinion, don't be by yourself, especially if you're in a position like this. Don't try farm all the way on your own in the middle of nowhere, because if you do that and you get picked off, then there's just nothing you can do. You're not going to survive. You're not going to get away. I've got no items, you know. Trying to do that's just not going to help me. This Phoenix being a real team player, yeah, giving me most of those last hits, which feels really good. On my way to getting that Dragon Lance, and that's going to make a big difference. Then I can be in the fights but still be safe. You know, and then I see, ooh, a Jakiro. So now I'm watching out for the stun. Nothing I could do. I try to get the gust off in time. Unfortunately not, but that bristleback slow just helps me a hell of a lot. And boom, done and dusted. I'm not going to contest for that Jugger. That is way too scary. I'll be running in under a tower. I'll be running through the Jakiro ult. and that Jugger just has to turn around and start smacking me in the face, and I'm just not going to make it. So that's why I rather just turned back there and just left it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for me. It's not worth it, you know, for the team. The risk reward is nil. So I'm almost got my Dragon Lance here. I'm thinking, ooh, maybe I can squeeze a Bounty Rune in, and you know, then from there I can start transitioning into other items.
I'll take that.
You know, Dragon Lance was definitely priority here. So, you know, but once I got that, I was just not sure where to go next. What do I do? What do I buy? And at the moment, you know, I had such tunnel vision on protecting this tower, I didn't even buy the item, which is just absolutely sloppy play. I should have picked it up right away, got it on the courier and got it to me. That should have happened ages ago. Oh, okay, I tried to get that big gust. Okay, Juggernaut's got the spin, I'm not going to get him. And I just don't want to stand in that ult. I was hoping for that Phoenix ult to really help me out there. You know, this Timber's on me, it's just not worth it. I admit I could have got a couple more hits in on that Enigma, but luckily for me that Phoenix ult did the job. Okay, what I did here was I just thought, let me gust him out. I didn't realize that gust actually purged that off at the time. So I just tried it again there, it worked out. I thought, okay, great, this is a great way to stop and disable that Bane ult. It interrupts his channeling, and that just helps me out in a big way. And then I thought, you know what, Shadow Blade is the way to go. These oaks are jumping in on me, but the thing is, I have no escape. If they jump in on me, I just die. You know, if I see them and I can Shadow Blade out of there, they are going to have a very, very tough time catching me again. You know, and the thing is, the Shadow Blade also gives you the armor. It gives you the it gives you that extra mobility. You know, it's just an all-round great item for Drow, in my opinion. You know, there are very few games where you don't want to pick this up, I think. Just because, you know, Drow feels a lot like a sniper. She's quite squish. It's scary when she gets picked off. This will allow me to do a little bit of ratting. All that kind of stuff plays a part in that kind of decision for item choice. You know, overall my team is still very far behind in terms of kills, but ironically there's only a 1k net worth difference, which shows that what these guys are doing is they're all grouping up and fighting, as is the norm when it comes to these new patches. These guys are grouping up and fighting, and the thing is, they're not they are now sharing this experience and gold among each other. They're not farming, as it were. They are just pushing objectives, which there's nothing wrong with, but the problem is if you spend no time at all farming and you give the other team time to farm, that kill lead just becomes so much less significant because you're not doing anything with it. You know, if they were killing us and getting objectives and so on, it would make a very big difference. But so far we've lost one tower and they're 9 kills ahead of us. So I see this Chikira. I might have TP'd in a little bit late. I was waiting for the frost, I didn't see it come out, and there it is. So I thought, if I can just get the slow, and there it is, boom. And it's definitely, that Dragon Lance was a fantastic pickup there. Also, being in lane with the Wraith King is really helping me in this instance. If you're wondering why I'm getting the lifesteal, it's because of this vampiric aura. What happens is Wraith King's health regen in terms of lifesteal is an aura effect. So any of his allies that are near him will also get that lifesteal buff, which is absolutely fantastic for a Drow at this point. You know, I took a little bit of damage in that fight. I took a little bit of damage at the bottom lane. Now I'm pretty much up to full, feeling strong, feeling good. So, you know, this game's turning in our favor. It's now 12-19. I'm 6-3. Definitely pulled it back. But now that I've got that little bit of a bump, don't stop. Keep farming, keep building. Get out of hand. Snowball. You know, that's what you want to do.
I'll take that
that was my plan here anyway. You know, just kind of farm up the jungle, see what I can do. Really just get myself big, get myself that Shadow Blade. That's really going to enable me to, especially in the beginning, get some pick-offs. You know, when you buy invisibility, what tends to happen is you always get that one free pick-off. You know, the first time you use it, before they realize you've got it, that's where you get the most utility out of it, I believe. You know, and then from then on, if they buy detection and so on, you just use it as a scouting tool, use it as a escape tool in some cases, and yeah. So what I did with there, I just freed the Tiny up just because I knew if I slept him, I'm more protected by my team. He's not, he's out on his own. So if they try jump me, my entire team's around me. Then of course the Phoenix did the same, and then that just really helped the overall team. I think that's great. That's something you must do as often as you can. And boom, there it is. Gust quickly, disable that Bane ult, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, that Timber's big, but let me get some damage. Oh, and then the Bane, that juicy little Bane. Sleeps himself, but I know that ult is coming out. There's that stun. I just waited it out. Problem with sleeping himself is that he puts himself inside that Phoenix ultimate. So as soon as that Phoenix ultimate goes off, he gets stunned up, and then I can just run in. So there's no rush for me to really just push it. I absolutely hate the Tiny rework. I miss buying an Aghanims on Tiny. It's all well and cool, you know, with its new utility and so on, but I feel like Aghanims was just a must-have on the Tiny, and having that tree all the time was just great for him. And losing Craggy, although Craggy wasn't the best ability in the world, it's still significant. And man, that damage just ate right into him. Just ate right into him. Feels good, man. Feels good. So we're on our way down this time. Did not realize they warded in our jungle. Up. And then suddenly I see them. I think to myself, oh run, oh run, oh run. Will my team save me? Will anyone save me? This isn't necessarily the best pick in terms of Drown Ranger. The only other ranged hero we have is the Phoenix. So not a lot of people gain from our precision aura. But I mean, if I help one hero with it, then I suppose that's okay. You know? I feel like the team picks were still great here because they saw that these guys have a lot of DPS, a lot of magical damage. So if you buy tanks, you just suck up that damage, and then Drow just complements that nicely because she's the one that can be sitting in the back, doesn't really get targeted down because they can't get to her, and she's the one who just deals all the damage. So the Phoenix is going in. I'm thinking this is a little bit risky. I can't see the rest of their team. I want my Shadow Blade. Now that I've got it, I'm thinking to myself, okay, now we can start getting stuff done. I don't want to get too far away from the lane. I want these creep stacks to come back. As soon as they spawn, I'll quickly farm them up, and then I want to get right back in the lane. I feel like we need to be pushing here. Sure, they are. We've got a gold lead and so on, but we're not doing anything with it. We need to start pushing. We needed to start getting towers. We need to start using this advantage. And then I see, okay, whoa, big team fight, huge ult. Okay, there's the Phoenix ult. Great, great. What do I do? Where do I go? I'm Shadow Bladed up, and then I'm thinking, okay, that Bane can't do anything. That's a big bonus for us. And there's the Bane pick-off. And there's the next pick-off, Jugger. Can we get the Enigma? I'm trying to blast him down as much as I can. There it is. Just like that. Boom. So now we need to do something. Now I'm sitting there going, okay, I need to push extremely hard. I need to go really aggressive. They've only got the Jakiro and the Timbersaw left. This is the place for me to start pushing. This is the place for me to do something, because how are they going to retaliate? If I at least have one hero with me, Jakiro can't solo kill me. Not a chance in hell is the Timbersaw solo killing me. And with one teammate around, I'm going to feel safe. And there it is. Boom. Fantastic. Feels good, man. Feels good. Really wanted that Yasha, just because, you know what, I feel like I'm doing the DPS, but that little bit of movement speed, that little bit of armor, all those perks you get from that agility bonus is just something you really, really want. And you know, the magic wand was all well and good, but I felt like, you know what, I can drop it. I can rather take the Yasha up. The reason I wanted that Sergeant Yasha is I just wanted a nice utility item that could give me a bit of tankiness, a bit of damage. I love the slow it gives you, and I feel like it's an item that's not used very much anymore. Look, a lot of people say there's so many better alternatives for the same price range, but I enjoy a Sanjin Yasha. I like it as an item. I think it's great when you're not quite sure what to buy and you just want those all-round stats. You want something that's all-around just good for you, that's healthy for the hero. And here it is. Something else I've learned from watching other YouTubers and playing a bit of Dota is they're always of the opinion that you must always go on a sort of a rotation. If you're heading somewhere, don't just run directly there. Try get some creep camps on your way. You know, if you're on your way down the map from here, for example, and you're working your way down the map, then you know, oh, sorry, then here comes this big fight, running away. I'm super scared of this Timber. I don't want him to get me. Oh, and there's the stun. I'm just thinking to myself, this is the end. The beginning of the end. My wand's on cooldown. Everything's on cooldown. Can I get that invis? Not quite. Not quite. But anyway, back to what I was saying, you know, if I'm heading from here down this way, then what I want to do is I want to not only just run down here, maybe run across, quickly grab a creep camp, then make my way into lane, you know, get that farming done on the way.
Middle tower is drowning.
Now at this point I had no idea we had such a big gold lead. It's easy to see here on the replay, but at the time I was thinking we were still definitely on the back foot. It felt like they were pushing a lot harder than us, it feels like they were doing a lot better. I was checking up the levels because it was at that point that I thought to myself, I wonder how far behind we really are. So I'm just kind of waiting for the respawn here. I'm thinking, okay, that Tiny's going to get killed. There's nothing we can do about the Tiny. I can still come in though. Bristol's quite tanky, they're scared to hit him. And you know, if I can just get that done on the Bane, if I can just start up that beginning of the end, and that's where Drow just comes in. I used the invis here just to get that movement speed bonus. The gust was to stop him from freezing anybody, but he just TP'd out. He got away just in time. I mean, it was super duper close, but that is what it is.
About to flounder.
So we're on our way through, and I'm debating the high ground push here, but I'm feeling really nervous. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I see them all at the top. Maybe I can get away with it, but I have absolutely no idea if this is going to come right. So I see the Jakiro there, and I think no. If I'm there by myself, get jumped by the Jakiro, I'm just going to die. And then I see this happening. And I'm wondering, am I going to get there in time? Is someone going to TP? Is someone going to do something? Because we're going to lose this tower if we don't stop that Jugger right away. Luckily the Tiny TP's in, and I'm hoping this would happen. Jugger freaks out, he tries to run away, which just means I can jump in and help out this Tiny. Boom. Just waiting for the Phoenix to get her item, and then I'm going to get my Sanjin Yasha. Very keen for that, something I really want. So yeah. As you can see, huge gameplay error, and I remember this in the game, is that I didn't realize that my Yasha was still on the courier, and I died when it was on its way to me. So I had no idea that I didn't have the item. So I looked around and I couldn't understand, where on earth is my Yasha? Why do I not have it at the moment? Which in all honesty is just sloppy gameplay from me. Another thing is, I never know when to activate this precision aura. I know you want to do it on a big push, but is it like the kind of thing where you're like, you know what, you actually want this on cooldown as much as possible. As soon as it's available, use it. Get it back on cooldown. Make sure that it's doing work for you and your team. My team seems to be doing really well on their own, so I'm just thinking to myself, okay, now's the time where I can really just keep pushing out. Just keep going.
Radiant think fortification can save them.
For those who don't know, what you just saw there was actually just the new patch. When you fortify towers, you also fortify your creeps. That's how it works. Fortifying towers also fortifies pushing creeps. There's my Sanjin Yasha, so I'm just thinking to myself, okay, absolutely fantastic. There was a haste rune there. Okay, good, I did pick it up. I was wondering about that. I'm not sure where to go. I'm thinking, okay, well maybe I can run down, get in a little bit of damage, maybe a bit of a pick off, and then I see the Jakiro and I think, do I want to go in on that? And there's the Jugger. I'm hasted, so I'm not too scared, but I don't want to go in. That is a mistake people make. They see a Jakiro, they think, oh, let me just jump in on him. But you know what? There's no guarantee he's alone. There's no guarantee he's alone. But now, I've got the rest of my team backing me up. Jugger's not too scary as long as I keep my distance from him. I just don't want him to Omni-Lash me. So that's why I rather just let him run at me, cart at him, because if that Omni-Lash lands on me, I'm just a dead man. I thought about chasing down that Jugger, but it's just not worth it. And I'm out of tower range at the moment, so it doesn't hurt me to just, hit that tower a little bit. But I'm just not sure if I'm doing the damage, so I'm kind of backing up, going in. Alright, so here comes the push. It's just the Bane and the Jugger left, so they're not really going to be able to do anything. So I can really just climb into this tower, no problem. I'd rather free that Bristle. He's a little bit in danger. I know he's tanky, I know he can take it, but it doesn't hurt me. I'm not going in anymore. I'm staying at the back. I don't want to get myself killed. So, you know, if I can at least help him out in that regard, then it just helps. Ach, and the shrine here is just because we got the tower. That Wraith King's doing serious work, so why not just get the quick shrine, get that little bit of gold for everybody, prevent them from TPing in and coming around the back, because that is just the worst. And I just think to myself, okay, well, they seem extremely occupied with the Wraith King up there. He's just died, but I don't think they'll rotate in time. Let me just try get some quick tower damage in. That was my thinking here. I was thinking, you know what, just go, 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 go. Hit that tower and watch for that. You know, and then as soon as I see them, get out. Get out. That Jakiro looks like he's alone, but I don't want to go in. And there's the Enigma. That's the thing. I saw that and I just thought to myself, no, 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 no. If I go in on that, I'm just not going to make it. So get a little bit of farm. Building up into that Hurricane Park. Big thing with the Hurricane Park is I just feel like I need the mobility, you know. If I can zip in and out, I'll be a lot less scared to really just go in on those towers. You know, stick around a little bit longer, get that little bit of extra damage. I see now that the warding has changed, and I should owe that Phoenix an apology. But it was at this point that we really pulled together as a team. It felt like our rotations were on point. This I don't dig. Yeah, that happened quite a lot with the Tiny. Unfortunately, that typical Tiny mentality of I'm big, I'm indestructible. But I think he gets away there, which is great. I'm hoping for the solo Jugger pickoff. My thought was maybe he'd go into the jungle and farm. But I just backed up because I didn't want my courier getting wrecked. Of course, then also what I did here is I activated the courier shield, just because I don't want that courier getting attacked by enemies as it's flying through. It no longer has haste, it now just has the shield. Alright, he dusted me there, which is quite scary. But I got the gust in. I'm still dusted. I didn't realize at the time, but flip, I was just, you know, just that extra mobility is what helps you. I realize my Hurricane Park's off cooldown now, so if I want to go in, I can a little bit. I can zip around. And the last thing is that Phoenix is baiting them in. They've got this tunnel vision now. They're just thinking dead Phoenix, dead Phoenix, dead Phoenix. The reason I gusted them there was just to stop them from hitting the Phoenix. Because not only does Gust silence them, but it pushes them back. And in that time that they're pushed back, they can't attack. So if I gust someone attacking that Phoenix egg, he can't attack for the duration that he's being pushed back. You know, so that really helps the Phoenix out. That Phoenix baited them super hard in. He counted on us to come in, which I think is what makes a good team. You know, if you know you can run in there and your team will just have your back, that is what feels fantastic. And that's what makes Dota a great game. You know, a lot of people talk about that, but that is the best feeling. You know, you dive in, you feel like, you know what, I'm doing something really reckless, and then your team is just behind you and they're pushing for you and they're just keeping you alive and getting stuff done. Absolutely fantastic feeling. So I'm just pushing for megas as quick as I possibly can, just because I see this advantage and I'm thinking to myself, get megas, you'll feel more comfortable, you'll come through, and then that's it. And you know, I'd also like to point out our early game was tough, eh? I mean, we had the dieback. Luckily that black hole didn't hit me, silenced him out of it. Bang. Dominating. Timber's next on the list. Double kill, feeling good. Jakiro, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Oh, dead Jakiro. Where's the Jugger? Where's the Jugger? So I'm pushing in, just clicking on him, nothing fancy. I get him, and then here it happens. The rampage. I lost my mind at this point. I could not believe it. From the early game I had to this rampage out of nowhere. Feels good, man. Feels good. But again, wasn't just me. My team helped me out super hard. That Phoenix was on point. Wraith King really started doing work. You know, the fact that he got those hits in early game. You know, got that little bit of farm, even though it sacrificed on me, really helped us as a team overall. So I wasn't too salty about it. You know, this overall game really turned in our favor, and I absolutely loved it. I loved how this happened. I thought it was an absolutely fun game. I thought you guys would enjoy it. Not overly long, although it felt that way when I was in game, because I was really trying my hardest here. They put up a good fight, but overall we ended up getting it, and that's it. Dire victory. Well guys, thanks very much for watching. I thoroughly enjoyed making this video for you guys, and hope to see you guys again. Scruffy out.